May. Ready,
Good kid.
we are good.
I will call meeting to order at Commission 6 p.m. Second item on the agenda, May minutes. 13th. You have quorum tonight. We do have people that were in May, so we can approve or discuss the minutes. So we can motion to approve the minutes in May.
Have a discussion.
Yeah, but we can have a
I'm
discussion.
just saying. Otherwise, I'll make the motion to accept the minutes. The May 4th.
Okay, there's a first, Mr. Kent. Second. Bob Sisti, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Maggie, minutes.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Okay, item 3 on the agenda is public comments, okay?
Sure.
Chris, let's
I
go
want to
ahead.
introduce Mike Carrier. He is with SOMAC. I will give him the floor for a moment. He is family's been in the building business for generations now, I think. Yeah. And so he is the gentleman I've been talking to about the property over on Main Street across from the Sherwood Falls. So thought I'd Mike come in and kind of chat with you guys. You kind of give an update on kind of what's happening. So you have the floor, my friend.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you for having me tonight. So Chris did think it was a good idea for me to stop in and kind of meet everybody and give you guys our thoughts and ideas on what we're, trying to have happen over at the Dead Zero Main Street property. My name is Mike Carrier. I am president of SOMAC Property. So we approach, I'm the property management arm by Carrier Group. And I do work with my father on the development side of things. He's still active in the business. He's in the trenches every day. He's with excavation. So we're fairly knowledgeable and experienced in this type of building. The townhouse style. I manage properties build. So my firm does. But what I did prepare for everybody here, I'm trying to take one. That's down just a rendering of a kind of a concept that we are working on for that pretty. As far as status goes, we're still working with the owners of the property and the owner of the development rights. There are a few questions on the status of the environmental piece over there and what needs to be done as far as testing. So we're just need to make sure that we're entering and purchasing a safe and marketable property. A building standpoint, but we have put these prints together, and so the top photo would be the main. I'll call that Main Street side, and the bottom photo would be the parking lot side or the opposite side from the street of buildings that we would be proposing to put up. We are hoping to get at least 2 affordable units in that property there. We're pretty excited. We like Berlin. My father's, I remember when I was probably too young to actually be working. I was working with and in Berlin, a couple subdivisions here and there. He was dragging us along on Saturdays, but I've always driven by this particular property wondering what's going on. But Berlin as a team, we're excited, and we're going to be sort of other building in and around Berlin. So thought it would be a good fit to go this route here. But I don't know, Chris, if you have any.
No, I just and you're talking about like the condos.
Condos, correct.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Condos or townhouses?
It's a condo association in a townhouse, in a townhouse.
So there's 3 floors?
So they technically call it 2 floors, but it's garage entry and then the first floor and second floor above that.
How many?
Right now, well, we haven't gone through the process yet, but I think around 16. So and four units, 4 buildings.
So just anybody that just was curious, this is kind of where it is. It's the lot right here at the corner of Main and Harris. I believe this was a location of his office or manufacturing. I'm not sure which it was as part of Sherwood Cherry Cup, but currently just kind of sitting there vacant. And as I mentioned previously, the situation is very strange from the fact that it's basically owned in a dead LLC. CIL owns the property, quote unquote, but the development rights are owned by the actual condo association. Made it a little more challenging, but I wanted Mike to at least come in and talk to you guys, because I know that's something that's of interest, because it is an important corner that sat there, and type of work that Carrier does, and that was important, just haven't come in. So you guys have any questions on kind of what he's thinking?
Yeah, well, I have a whole bunch of questions. So when you say condos, you're gonna build them and sell them?
Right.
Okay. And how long have you had development rights? Do you have the development rights?
We do not.
You do not.
No.
So the association that has the development rights, are they into memorandum of understanding with you guys as a developer, or, you know, if they say buy the Carrier, do you just go bye-bye?
We do.
So then you have nothing in writing that says you're the developer of this.
No, so that's, we had a contract that expired, we're working on, like that, it was a timing issue.
And so the contract was to purchase the land?
Correct.
Okay, and why did, I guess I'm concerned because we've been watching this for a long time. Okay. When did you enter into the agreement with CIL or the association? How many years ago?
It's in 23, later in 23, about a year and a half ago.
And why did the deal bust?
It didn't really bust, it was the timing ran out, and then there was some environmental questions that came up, kind of, like the waters of.
And what was supposed to be done during that period of time that you had the contract? What was it, the association was supposed to do some borings, you guys were supposed to do borings, what was supposed to happen?
So as I understand it, I don't have all the details, but there was some ongoing testing. There was some ongoing testing at the time, for groundwater quality. They have wells on the site that are monitored by Porter. So that was, and then that was, that's one of the questions arose from that. I'm not technical enough to explain it, but there was, Fuss and O'Neill is working on that particular file there. So that's still ongoing. Correct.
Yeah, and I believe in order for an LEP like Fuss O'Neill to take action, I believe they need 4 quarters of clean testing to go to the state, and they kind of get a report that says, yes, you can build on it. And I think part of it is, and again, I don't know what responsibility it was, I don't think the quarters were followed, so it's almost like an interruption.
You're correct. As I understand.
Yeah, as best as we understand
And
it.
Fuss is working for Carrier or the association?
Fuss was working for the, actually, Fuss was working directly for the Regional Brownfield Partnership, which is a group out of Waterbury we're part of. They put up, I want to say there was 20% put up as a match, the 80% was through the Regional Brownfield Partnership, or the Regional Brownfield Partnership. But Fuss and O'Neill was hired by them to do the testing. The intention that we would see development.
And who put up the 20, the
So
association?
the 20 would have been the association, and then at the time, the developer, which at the time was not Carrier, somebody else.
So why did we miss the quarters, you know, the 4 quarters? If we got involved in this, we're supposed to do borings.
I don't know where it stood. I mean, I had connected, actually Mike with those folks, and I'm not sure exactly how it ended up happening. It probably was on the association, but I don't know that for certain. Because again, I was not involved directly in the previous part with the response. Well, I think it was a combination, but what ended up happening was this, so the association changed gears, and so developer 1 went this way, and then they brought Carrier into the mix. So developer 1 is not even in the mix anymore.
So there was a development for Carrier. And that didn't work out.
No.
And you had mentioned wells on the property, right? Are there wells on that particular site that show?
Yes.
There are water wells on that site. There are wells that are used currently.
Not using monitoring wells, yeah, but.
Oh, monitoring,
Yeah,
not for
Not
water.
for water.
Oh, I see,
Yeah,
okay.
it's monitoring wells, yeah.
Okay, for environmental,
Environmental testing, ongoing testing.
so of the 4 that were supposed to be done, how many were done?
I don't have that information on hand. I believe they had gone through it, probably did 3 of them, but I think there was. Yeah, I have not spoken to the attorney, but I was the attorney for the association. Yeah, I don't know. I know that a full 4 was not done, that's all.
So Mike, you're negotiating currently with the association to enter another agreement?
Yeah, correct.
All right, when you're talking to the association, you're talking about these monitoring wells and what was gonna happen?
Yeah.
Who's gonna eat it, who's gonna pay for it, when they're gonna be done?
Correct.
All right,
Yes.
so what's the,
I don't have an answer for where we're at with that, but that is currently the discussion.
when was the last time you sat down and talked to the association?
We probably, at this point, probably a couple of months ago, we had a couple of attorney changes, and vacation, summer, so it kind of delayed everything, but we're hoping to get right back into it.
And do you have a meeting scheduled currently?
We are working to get a meeting scheduled. I don't know if they've actually, there's a lot of groups that have the board for the association, the attorneys, our office.
I guess the concern is, there's a lot of folks in town. I think I could sell all these units on a Sunday morning, right now. Okay, I think anybody here could sell all these units on a Sunday morning, because there's huge demand. There are a lot of folks in town that have, a 4-bedroom, 24 square foot colonial, the kids have moved out, and they would like to stay in town.
Yeah.
But there's not much for them to buy. And so, having driven by the site almost daily, and looking at it, geez, when is someone gonna have it here? Because there's some people that are selling their houses and they don't wanna leave Berlin, but they have to because they can't find anything. So that's why I'm sort of pushing a little bit. Yeah, I guess we're learning today what's going on. Okay, we didn't know.
Yeah, I don't.
And it doesn't, nothing sounds super concrete yet. And I don't think we can get the association here.
No, but I think that'd be very challenging to get the association in here. I can.
I think that's necessary. Look, we're talking to Mike today.
Yeah, no,
He's doing the best he can to explain to us what's going on. They haven't spoken in a couple
let
of
me
months.
reach out to their attorney directly. And then I can kind of find out.
Pentor's their guy, right?
I do not believe so.
All right, so let's find out who their attorney is and let's see. Is there an understanding, Mike, that they're gonna sign up with you guys again or? no?
I believe so. I mean, it's everybody, I think everybody's working, good faith,
So far, it's not a hostile relation.
Oh, no, not at all. And we've continued to work in the background, as if there's something in place so we can hit the ground running. Once everything is, when
Basically, that's what you're in here today.
yeah, correct, yeah.
Other than this design, do you have any designs? You said there's 4 buildings. I'd like to see how they were set up and obviously the parking.
Yeah, so each garage, tentatively, each garage would have a slip in front of the, right, yeah. And then I believe there were 2 spots per unit in the parking area. Additional, just,
And where would entrance and exit be? It can't be at the light, I don't think.
so our initial design is up on, from Hotchkiss. The top of our Hotchkiss.
I say, as I look at this, I'm saying like, why don't you go buy that house right on the corner, and square off the property?
Yeah,
You
you're right
probably,
about that, and
you could probably put another building. It's that's CRC's father's old house, right?
is that what it is?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's his old house. I think that's Carl's father's old house, right there. Go back, look at the street card, it'll tell you.
That's not under, yeah, I think that's your word.
No, it'll say CRC right there, see?
Carl's here, too.
Yeah.
Senior, yeah, that was, yeah, they were from that neighborhood, him and Steven and.
Yeah, I'll reach out to the attorney, see what I can find out at this point, because
I don't wanna go get an option on it. And then offer it to you.
Yeah.
Why don't you go knock on the door? Because it would look a lot nicer if the whole corner was squared off.
No, for sure.
And then you would have a lot more access on Hotchkiss. And I know that house was really, really old.
Yeah, but
Did you hang out with those guys?
yeah, car.
Yeah.
Car. But Won't that happen?
I don't know.
It's a good thing he doesn't own it. Oh, yeah.
Matthew Nevin bought it in 22,
For how much? 200?
Yeah, built 1900.
Yeah, I know.
Was,
Yeah, it was old.
that's still compared to.
Yeah, right.
Compared to your stuff, yeah. Compared to you, right? I just like, it's sort of like a, you know,
Right, yeah, let me talk to the attorney and see if I can.
you gotta find out who
engage
the
them.
attorney is first, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know a couple of people that currently live there, and maybe they can at least assist me. For their own condos, I should say.
But you didn't develop any kind of a plot plan, how it's gonna be situated.
We do have we do have kind of a proposed, I didn't bring it this evening. I can email it over. to Chris.
Yeah, I'd just like to see how they're gonna set it up. I mean, if you look at the cards, it looks like it probably wouldn't have a big deal, but parking's always an issue. So if you, Chris, if you wanna move it my way a little bit, I can kind of show everybody the layout. Obviously, taking part of that parking lot that they use.
So the four buildings would be situated along, starting on the corner, and equally spaced along all the way to here, and then the driveway and the parking was in
So
this.
driveways are in the rear.
In the rear, yeah. You know, so, and it allowed that little square piece that, you know, that below the house we were just talking about, allowed for enough parking. I believe it was 2 spaces per unit.
So, kind of a.
Were these renderings done specifically for the site, or this is another project?
So these are specific. But if you'd like to see, we do have properties where you can see something similar to.
Yeah, no, it's.
These, because, you know, they're all born from, they're all, you know, ideas are all, you know, we gotta see what works. But we have we did a nice subdivision in Newington. That Somac currently manages, and it's a very similar stuff. So we kind of adapted that.
Whereabouts in that one kind of done?
The Harvest Court, it's off of Demings. It's kind of behind the, like, Lowe's Plaza.
Yep.
And you take that back road there.
And
That way, if you wanna take a ride, you can kind of go by it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and if anybody lets me know too, I mean, it's private property, people turn around there all the time, but I like to let the board know. Tell them through if you'd like to take a look at what the neighborhood looks like.
And the buildings, as they face the road, would they be on end, or they would whole front of the building?
The whole front of the
The
building.
whole building, front of the building?
Yeah. So imagine a sidewalk going to the main sidewalk from each of the front. So this is a two front door, like a combined.
So you're gonna put a sidewalk in, cause there is no.
There is no sidewalk, but I believe it's probably a required. Yeah, it's gonna be a required.
So you think you connect the sidewalk from the end of the parking lot all the way around the corner of Hotchkiss then?
Correct.
And then you'd have kind of buildings that would come across Main Street, and then I think that's Harrison sideways at it.
Correct.
So then 4 buildings, driveway, and the park in the rear, or extra parking in the rear, I should say.
And then the fifth one would go with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right, exactly where his house is.
And there are 4 units per,
Correct.
like, you know, like, we can do the numbers quick,
Yeah, correct.
the numbers work.
Yeah,
It's- you know,
That's
you
the
buy-
math that I can do in my head.
Yeah, I know, the numbers work.
Now, what would you have for barriers to the existing? Neighbors, you know, with lights and stuff in the parking lot.
So all the lighting that we currently install is designed to eliminate or reduce the light pollution. So the old days of million megawatt bulb blinding everybody in the neighborhood, that doesn't happen anymore. So some downward facing lights on the building themselves, and then our group tends to lean towards more but smaller lights instead of, you know, less taller ones. And they tend to add a decorative aspect to the property.
So more like a residential type, 90
Correct.
industrial.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, so, you know, 6-8 feet tall, you know, not a 20-foot tall light. But it's always, with the LEDs now, they're very directional. to the point where people, if you're just looking in it, sometimes can even look dark compared to, let's say, an older, if you left an older. Lighting in another parking lot, you can't do it almost like it's dark, but there are requirements that we follow.
Any other questions for Mike from the commissioners?
And Chris, I can put you in touch with who I know anyway, that working on.
That'd be great, because again, there's an interest in, like, a film perspective, but more important too, from the residents' perspective on giving them another option to stay here for ownership.
Yeah.
Not a lot of option. And you're right, Dave, I think that the push is definitely a big upgrade to that corner. Yeah, I mean, I think it's becoming a community need, not even a community want anymore with exactly you're talking about. Investors won't stay, sell the house, but they have something to go. And right now, some of the options.
Is that, what's the zone on that? Is there any opportunity to have some kind of mixed use in there?
I do not say the truth.
It's a zone problem. There's the zone. They haven't, no one's changed the zone since it was.
So if you had some kind of mixed use in there, like one or two of them.
The mixed use does make it a little more difficult, marketing wise, you're looking at. The condominium, but we do have a few projects going right now, some mixed use, projects, like one in Bristol Center Square, Bristol.
Yeah, it's still, it looks like it's still general industrial, I believe, both sides of the road are general industrial. That little pocket that's there on both sides.
Well, I would say, Chris, you know, as you chat with folks, just say the town is interested in knowing what's going on. And we have a responsibility to community to sort of help shoot some of these projects along, so let's see what we can do. Agree? Good, okay, no, just thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
As things develop, if you know, you start to get close, call Chris and let us know.
I don't leave them alone, I literally leave them alone very long, so.
So, oh man, he's calling me again.
Hey, I'm motivated to see it happen.
Thank you so much. Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Very nice to meet you. Have a good one.
Here's.
I'll do it.
Thanks, Mike, have a good night.
You too.
So then, we have our other two guests, and I don't know if you want to reintroduce yourselves or not here, if you would, tell us a little about kind of what's been happening on Cameron Highway.
So Rich Branston, Volunteer. So we have been, since our last meeting where we came in and met with, it was Megan or two. And we talked a little bit more about it. We have a lawyer, Tim now, who is going through. Maureen, sorry. Going through the text amendment language that we need to make it so that everything fits well within that area. We're continuing forward with the land architect for, you know, what the most efficient use of the space is. And that's pretty much where we're at right now. On the retail side, notice, but we have signs on there now. We're ourselves. That's the best way to go. We tried going local route. That just didn't work out. So we actually have some good interest in the prospective tenant for what used to be the old bank. We're excited about. I don't want to say more than that right now because I want to jinx anything, but we really want to rent that space up, and we want to keep the project moving forward on the residential part of it. So we're kind of curious where you guys are at and what you're thinking and what your thoughts are on next steps.
Okay, Rich, so I've been pushing Chris to get you guys back here to talk about this project. After the last meeting here, I spent some time driving through and around both sites, your site and across the street too. And I want to share what my thoughts are on that. and I've told the commission this too. I think there's great potential there that hasn't been realized. Okay. I think that, and Bob, you may or may not have been here, I don't remember. Rich came in and he was talking about 60 apartment units.
Was it?
You were here, okay. So the Carlton's building behind the package store. And so I looked at both sites and I said, you know, this could be a really cool mini Blueback, mini downtown. If you can slow the traffic down and you can connect both sides to make it look like your side matches Mark's side. I'll just use Mark's side because you know, I don't know. That's the name. Kicking around for a while. If the parking lot lights, now the parking lot lights on Mark's side are parking lot lights. They're not ornamental. They're not pretty. But if the parking lot lights on your side were ornamental, decorative, and matched his side, and there was a light that stopped traffic, and there was crosswalks, and there were sidewalks, and there were plantings, and there was an ice cream shop. All these things would make it a really cool mini Blueback, mini downtown that the neighbors would walk over and start to sit around and interact with. I think the package store building, that whole building needs to be renovated and upgraded with respect to the architecture and the facade. One side of the building has two different colored gray siding, but I think that if you sort of upgraded that, you could to fit your new buildings, I think that would be great. I think the first thing, and I'm not the developer, so I'm just telling you my thoughts, is the traffic part. How do you slow the traffic? I was there, I'm watching. If people aren't pulling in, they're not slowing down. They're not slowing down. And in order to make it walkable from one side to the other, like if you have 60 units on this side, you want those people to easily be able to cross without a tunnel or a skybridge. You know what I mean? Because it's not safe because the cars are going too fast. But those 60 units, if you get 60 or 50, whatever you get, would really help Mark's side, you know, help his tenants. Because, you know, oh, hey, we want to go out tonight. Oh, we don't want to drink, but we don't want to drive. Oh, we can walk across the street and we don't have to like risk running across the road when people are doing, they don't slow down.
I think everybody in the neighborhood would do
Yeah.
it.
Pardon me?
I've done it.
Yeah, you have to, well, there are two yellow lights that down Chamberlain Highway, actually three. There's Reservoir Road, there's High Road, and there's South Kensington Fire Department. They're all yellow lights. No one slows down. No one slows down. Okay,
I mean, go faster.
yeah, well, a few years ago.
Because the thing is gonna turn red, you want me to.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm gonna pull that. That back up again.
Yep.
Yeah, I said if you can get a rotary for that intersection. That would be your best.
In the roundabout?
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, I think Dave, you mentioned last time we talked that roundabout would be the best. It would solve the problem and it would look pretty as well.
I'm not a traffic person, so I don't know, and I know that kind of stuff costs a lot of money, okay? I know a blinking yellow light doesn't do it. Somehow you have to slow the traffic down, you know, 500 feet before that area, there's signs. I don't know how to do it because I'm not a traffic person. And I recognize you have to be careful because this stuff is not inexpensive. I understand, but I think you can make a really cool development if both sides of the street get together, think this thing through, plan it, make it match. I think you can do something really neat there. I think that if you're just gonna propose 50 or 60 apartments and that's it, without all this other stuff that we talked about. I don't know what planning and zoning. I don't know. But if you go in there with this plan like traffic calming, slow down, crosswalks, sidewalks, planters, you know, redo the facade of the package store and
Those mighty plans, we do it.
yeah, all that kind of stuff. And you sort of title it as a mini downtown, a mini Lubec, where the people are crossing the road continuously, they go out to eat, they go back home. I think it could be like a second downtown for Berlin.
So,
Be better than the first downtown.
Yeah, I know.
so full disclosure, Mark is my brother. And I'm a managing partner for sites. And you kind of nailed it, that is our vision, want to create, I call it a lifestyle center, whatever, you know, downtown.
Destination.
A destination, right, so, you know, we even looked at it as, you know, calling the whole thing Ferndale Plaza. Or Ferndale Center, or what you call it, something, we call it Kensington Center. So, you know, you have Berlin Center, you have Kensington Center.
Someone said Ferndale Square.
Ferndale Square would be great. So that's a good one as well. And so the vision is to, the first phase would be to, well, first of all everything behind Babies to Buddies is built up. We already have a contractor ready to do that, we're trying to work out.
Wait, say that again?
Everything to the, you know, in the back,
Kinder care, the old kinder.
the old kindergarten, public space. That's all going to be taken down. We used to be
This,
Ferndale.
this whole thing here is we talk about.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's,
sorry,
there's
losing the share.
nothing left there to say. You know, I've
Sorry,
been in
guys.
there and
Sorry to Maggie and Chris.
Has it been, has this, where did it stand with the town? Where P and Z, give you approval on anything?
we haven't done anything yet. We're still working on it. So, but that right now is it's a hazard. Insurance companies like that. I'm not talking about that. I'd really like to take that down. I don't want some homeless person, you know, get hurt or something like that, you know, because that's what it's primed for. Something has to be done.
You need a permit from the town to take it down, right? Is that a problem?
I don't think so. We haven't gotten that far yet, but that's the next thing.
Even before you go to P and Z for your approval for the whole project, you knock that thing down.
I don't think that'll be a problem.
So I was gonna say, my guess is they'd be happy about it, because I'm sure.
Yeah.
Say liability, you know.
For everybody. You know, it's just not a good, it's an eyesore time.
But let me tell you, Rich, when we talked last time that you were here, we talked about traffic.
Yep.
And you said, well, you said, we're gonna get these buildings up and then we'll address traffic later down. That's what you said here. Well, maybe things have changed. And for me, I'm saying like, the key to this whole thing, you know, I'm afraid you get your 60 units in, done, and then bye, we're out of here. I think the traffic has to be part of, you know, the first phase.
So the traffic part of it, we actually, after our last meeting with Maria Hertzing, I asked the land architect to look into what it costs to do a traffic study.
Yes.
Because we want to fully understand the traffic there. But it's not only for controlling the traffic, but you know, that goes to for tenants. You know, they want to see traffic, right? And there is a lot of traffic there. People are always, so if you're a tenant, you wonder, is there enough traffic? If you're a resident, there's too much traffic. Right, so finding that balance and then managing the flow. I like the idea of the roundabout. I haven't really thought about that, but I think that would work really well. From the point of view of the cost, when you're doing that construction of a building, it's going to be less money than light. And I think it's more aesthetically pleasing for the development. As far as the side on the retail, we're definitely planning on doing that. But you know, we want to make sure that everything flows with the same light. So we want to know, you know, what's this building going to look like, what's the building behind it, and then we're going to put a similar facade on the other building. So the building doesn't have to be redone. The building's solid.
Yes, right.
You know, it's just that it's tired. And you know, somebody, to your point, I think somebody put vinyl siding on there a long time ago, and there was a problem. Changed it. That's why it's two different colors. But it's vibrant. The liquor store is doing well. I think RDM Moose is doing well. You know, it's really just somebody coming in there with a vision. You know, on what they want to put there. I personally, am a big advocate. I would love to have fresh, you know, like a meat market, produce, you know, that type of thing. You know, maybe where they have a hot counter. So, you know, it's the kind of setup there where you don't even need to sit down. Somebody who makes sandwiches or has hot food ready to go, you just hit the tables where that drive-through is at. Because that's probably not going to be a drive-through. You know, that would be a great spot for people to congregate and hang out and shop and
Cafe-ish.
yeah.
Or something similar to Kensington Market, with a little twist, but something similar to Kensington Market. I think the neighborhood will appreciate if we have everything well put together.
I think in the past, you know, it's unfortunate. So full disclosure, I wasn't involved until about 3 years ago. So I just want to make that because I know there's a lot of history there. Town, you know, and we go back 60 years in the town. So my father and his brothers, when I first developed that, you know, that was great for the town. Actually, when doing the due diligence on it, I found out that my grandmother-in-law was a partner in Ferndale Dairy across the street. And we figured that out and found a big stainless steel milk tank under there. And I thought it was an environmental issue. So we started digging it up. We realized it only had milk in it. I was thinking it was like diesel or something like that. So I wanted to know what was there. And when I saw the milk there, I was like, what was here before? And then we started looking into it. I realized my grandmother, actually, she was a single mother, you know, early days, a single mother businesswoman in the 50s. She somehow became a partner in Ferndale Dairy. So we have a long history of it. And we want to make it so that it's vibrant, so that they feed off each other. Like I said, the last thing, creating our own ecosystem. That's what
The land in front of the gas station, I think that's state land, Chris.
Give me 30 seconds, I'll get back to it, and you are correct, yes. Hold on. Sorry,
it's kind of unfortunate that it's that gas station changing. So I wish we had known that. I would.
It's still same ownership,
Same owner,
different operator.
Different operator.
Yep, yeah, so if you look at this, I'll go back here and share sort of see it screen. So, yes, so basically, anything that is not within the lines is state. So essentially, this entire area out here is state, including that portion of the gas station property.
That's why they let them put all the political signs in there. You know, guys, no one's there to stop them. The owner of the gas station. We have a whole concept over on that side of town, man. A lot of people would like it. You're from that side.
Well,
That would make mixed use, some more activity in there.
well,
Whenever you guys come in.
I'm here to listen to you.
Okay. So regardless, let's say you weren't able to put the apartments up now, you're still gonna try to fill the retail, correct? So then the goal is you're going to build 60 apartments with no additional retail.
So the viability of additional retail, you know, we need to fill the space we have. So we need to fill retail. That's now, if we could have more retail there, then there was demand for it. Be all about it. You know, retail is, you know, is great, but it has to be something that we can fill up.
Okay. So building 60 apartments with no additional retail, which is basically what you're doing, put apartments up. If you can fill your existing retail, then that's great on both sides. I mean that. It starts to change the demographics of the town as well as a lot of other things that are going on in town. You have nothing to do with that, but there seems to be some motivation in town to do that. With a lot of these apartments that are going up, and this just seems like that would fill that agenda, just putting apartments up, trying to change the demographics of how things are, so. To me. 60 apartments with no mixed use, no nothing in there is not what I think I'm looking for. I live on that side of town. You know, I know. a Couple of the business owners in that area very well. Either under you or not under your jurisdiction, but close by. And, you know, a lot of things are out of people's control, but. I feel if you're gonna put 60 apartments up, you need to put more retail. Maybe make the Carlton's building a mixed use. I think that might satisfy, you know, some of what we're looking at. But, you know, I'm not of the subjects. I just don't believe that putting 60 apartments with no additional retail it's something the town actually wants. I really don't. And I guess it depends what part of town, the people you're talking to in town. But for the most part. I think we need something more than just 60 more apartments with. What's that give you, 16 affordables? You know, I know the town is. Kind of stuck on that thing, certain people are, so. That's my opinion, and I am sticking with it pretty strong. So.
Let me just ask a question. Chris, can you bring up the site again? There was a couple proposals in the past for 2 pad sites, right? Remember, Chris?
Yeah, let's just say, there were some discussions with.
Right behind the gas station.
Yeah, and an engineer from Bristol about either doing something directly on the property line or somewhere in the parking lot. And I don't think that's necessarily completely out of the picture. I just think that the focus has gone to the other side of the road.
And the reason I'm asking, Rich, is I'm trying to think about this for a while. If they had sites there and they have a Dunkin' or whatever they put there, and all the retail that they have was rented and occupied, like there's, I don't know percent, how many vacant buildings do you guys have over there between both sides of the street?
So, if you count box system, we have 2 right now on the Ferndale Plaza side, and the Family Dollar, which by the way is about to become a Dollar Tree Plus. We have 3 vacancies.
So 5 total
Yeah.
vacancies.
Right.
So if all those retail were rented out, and then they had a pad site, is that enough retail?
Well, so the 5 vacancies, they're gonna try and rent out anyway,
Yeah, right.
whether they build it or not.
Sure. Yeah, we're really pushing it, we're trying hard. And we're struggling because the corner has a reputation. Some issues there over the recent decades with this management, but that's ancient history. You know, and then it's tired, or it needs to be rejuvenated, and it needs people there that are considering it like a center, which you said, where they're coming in there and it's a destination. Now, with all that said, you know, from our end, right now you've got a lot of empty retail, you've got a boarded up building, got a dilapidated building. And we want to get off of that cycle of nothing happening. We've talked to so many potential retailers, and I know that if we were able to do this, we would have vibrancy and fill the retail. As far as building more retail goes, without the beds, it's hard to build more retail. So we built more retail to what Chris was talking about before, that potential pad site right behind the gas station there. That's one solution. I looked at, you know, the potential of doing something in that corner in front of the old Carlton's. You know, could there be something else over there that could have a drive-through, like an Aroma Joe's or something like that? Potentially. Not a fan of, you know, so competing with seeds. right? So Dunkin' Donuts wanted to go in there, with the gas station, they met with me. They wanted to do a joint venture thing where we give them some land and they do that and then partners in it. But I wasn't interested in that because they were cities. So I want them to be successful. So, and even though they're separate properties, separate LLCs, I could put a coffee shop across the street, but you know, I'd rather not because I don't want to put my other things.
That would hurt mobile too.
It would hurt mobile too, right? So, you know, I don't want to do that. So I've been trying to find solutions for, you know, what doesn't compete with what we have already. So the food concept and the Family Dollar Tree lease, I cannot have somebody who sells a convenience store kind of setup thing. Could I have a fresh meat market? Potentially, you know, I would talk to them about it. If this tenant works out on either side of the street, I'm happy to have that. As far as additional retail goes, the vibrancy that I think that we would add, if we just had what we have now as the retail, we were able to redo that and fill it and make it vibrant, like that, I think that goes a long ways towards doing it.
Well, I mean, just from a marketing perspective, first thing you have to do is signage. You got the big soul food place in back.
Yep.
But tried it. It's actually very good. A little pricey, very good.
Everything's called price of the place.
I enjoyed it. I went with my son around the way home. Middle class and stopped and ate. But then the dentist office, what was the dentist office? And you can correct me if I'm wrong, the rumor is that place had a lot of physical problems, leaking water, a lot of issues.
That's just next to, because, yeah.
Yeah, the same side.
In the day, so we investigated all that, yeah, that was a problem, because, you know, yeah, that's decades ago now, so when I took over the property, I knew about that. When we had Family Dollar Tree, going there, we had all of the pipes scoped. And I found that there is a spot where there's a dip, right, it's settled over the years. And, you know, so we cleaned everything out. Right now, everything is working fine there, that backup issue is not happening.
So the reason I say that is because if I know it, property owner on this side of town, other than my house, I work on the other side of town. But everybody knows it, so it's got that little reputation as you spoke. So like no one would even look at that property because the reputation it has that drove the dentist out, supposedly. And I don't know.
Well, that's actually,
I know getting any kind of large retails can be tough since you have Dollar Tree and I mean, I know the corporation sold Family Dollar or whatever it was. That place killed it. Like people bought stuff for $1.25, like it was going out of style.
well, it's coming back to the Dollar Tree.
As a Dollar Tree.
Also, just so you know, we pushed hard in there for the food concept of there too, that was a requirement. So I talked to a lot of people in town, you know, I've been trying to be as interactive and as good of a citizen as we can be, so to speak. As we can really we're here for a long haul, we're not going. So at my end, people were adamant about a super. I said to people, what's the supermarket? Why didn't you support that? It wasn't seen. So whatever the history was there, I have no idea. It wasn't involved. But the food in the Family Dollar Tree, that first section, is done really well. We're telling Dollar Tree Plus that we take it out, we'd like to expand it, we'd like to add food on our end if we could, because people really are clamoring for a supermarket. So we are working hard to try and do that. Ideal location for that though is across the street. Like I said before,
Well, a bank would work fine in this side of town because there are no banks now.
we could find one. But so I have a bank with a safe with that.
Yeah,
Safes are going the way of the dodo bird because nobody goes to the bank anymore for the safe, but I would think people do have safe deposit boxes.
so that was when we had the meeting. When was that, Chris? Where we had a large meeting with Mark was there. Brother-in-law or cousin-in-law, whatever he is. And a couple other people and all the townspeople that were somebody. And he says, yeah, I'm not gonna ever rent that out because they want me to take the safe out of there.
Where my brother-in-law said, please erase that.
So it was just like, okay, so that part of town's out.
We would do whatever we want, to say about it. We'll do, hey, so I mean, if you talk to tenants that we have in there, we're working really hard. Not only to fix up that building, to make it successful. We'll work with any time, the way, the new wells taking us there, we've gotten close to $40,000 taking us, so it's not. Sure, it seems like. Really, you know, with.
I figure any construction company will be able to come in and take the wall down a little bit.
You gotta cut it out, so it's so heavy, but I don't think, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, it's only done. 40 grand for dumpster. Oh, we need a tenant to do it.
It looks like the biggest issue you got with reputation.
But you know, we've also gone a long way to rebuild that too. So, you know, if you talk to, you know, like the barber there, is doing well. You know, we've had some problems with the roof. So the roof in that building, when I took it over, I mean, I don't know how long it takes for a 12-foot oak tree to grow on the roof. Oh, we had a 12-foot oak tree. There was a road.
They're not fast growing.
No, so we took care of that, tried to piecemeal it. We actually, about 3 weeks ago, we had a major project on there, which we've done now. We're pretty confident that we've got that behind us. We have all new HVAC on the roof of that building on the side facing the highway. Our tree is the other side, that next. And, you know, we're working with the tenants and the tenants are successful. Omar, you know, Barber is rocking there. The Siemens is doing well. The new pizza guys, you know, took over Bill's. You know, they're doing great. They put a lot of money into that shop. Mika is doing well. You know, he's in a tough spot there. We do need to do something for her signage wise. You know, I mean, that's something that I don't know if now's the time to talk about this or not. It's impossible that they have that tombstone sign a little bit bigger, so that we can put something like, you know, Mika's soul food, you know, around, you know, with an arrow around the back type of thing, because people.
It's based on the size of the building, then the signage. It's the percentage of the building,
I don't know, who do I talk to about?
and it's gotta be so far off the road. Paul, pardon me, right here.
Was he the engineer that?
No, he's not an engineer, but he's the guy that oversees signage.
So you know, so that's what that's. So, but the reputationally, you know, people do get nervous about it, so I look up Berlin Talks. So, you know, when.
It depends which one you look at, so there's Berlin Buzz CT, there's Berlin Talks, there's like 4 of them. Just uncensored Berlin, just be careful with.
The Family Dollar Tree, they'll go, when I wish they took it out. I called them and asked them to take it out. They said it's the work policy. You know, and it was really bad because everybody in town's like this corner is shakes here. Oh, again, yeah, because most people don't know the Family Dollar Tree got bought by a private equity group came in, they're splitting it up, they're rebranding. So, you know, they just think it's going out of business. But that's not the case at all. They were doing it wrong. So that was one of the vendors that was 100% candor to have them rebranded as a Dollar Tree Plus. Are contributing $75,000 to that effort, you know, to make sure. So, and to do that, what we got in return was a commitment. They are locked in 2023. We haven't signed it yet, but they will be locked in. So they have an early termination option. They have all sorts of other things. So the way they caved on that, I know they depend on these people in the state. So that center is actually doing okay. So reputationally, I think when word gets out that Dollar Tree Plus is rebranded, it's locked up for the next 8 years, you know, that type of thing, you know, that's going to go a long way towards helping us. But these things don't happen. So in the past, you know, the attitude was, you know, oh, well, we'll burn it down and make it a park. And that's, I don't know if my brother-in-law ever said that in the meeting, but I've heard him say that. And unfortunately, you know, For better or worse, it's not about.
You know, it was a vibrant plaza at one time.
Really
There's
was.
no reason it shouldn't be able to be brought back to that. Especially I look at that side of town. Actually, from when that was a vibrant plaza, that side of town has grown a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you want a plaza on the, West Hartford, do that, you gotta have more food. I mean, that's what brings people. Right. And it's, you don't wanna, I mean, you got Bella's, so it really can't be an Italian pizza type thing.
I
But
could have, I could do it. Across the street from houses, on that side. One of, Carlton's. Old restaurant, that side there. I mean, I'd be happy,
enough.
it would. Especially when we take down those other buildings, on space then. So you could have a standalone, we could put a restaurant that side there. Fine. I'd like to find something other than a Popeyes. Or something like that. They'd love to be there, sure, but, it'd be great if it was, a nice, place where people go out for dinner on Saturday night, that's what I want.
Well, I appreciate the fact that you came back to chat with us again. And to listen to what the commissioners have to say. Your biggest hurdle is, we're advisory. Your hurdle is PNC. That's your hurdle. And if you, listen to our group and others, and you go to them with a plan that sort of incorporates some of the things that were said, you might have luck. They're the group that you have to sort of succeed with.
So,
But they're gonna be asking a lot of the same things we're saying.
so what do you think about that idea about a pad site? The corner there in front of Carlton's?
I think that might be part of the answer.
Now, there is a zoning thing there where you only southwest to the highway. So that's something we have to.
So reverse it. See apartments in front, restaurant.
Well, because you're, we're reusing the shell of the Carlton's book. For economically, it's important. Also, there's, easements underground there that we have to figure out as well. So we could move some of those though, because we look at under that parking lot, there's a lot of, and they might be old easements that aren't even in use anymore. The electric company. Things like that. So I don't even know if they're in use anymore. But when we looked at it originally, we were planning on the development, on existing houses building where there's no easement issues and then, yeah.
I guess the question is, how do you get, this is the question that I began, how do I get P and Z excited about this project? You know what I mean? That's the thing. And if you can explain it to them that this is gonna be like this little mini downtown area where one side of the street complements the other, the traffic is gonna slow right down somehow. And the people can go across crosswalks, and go back and forth. And you P and Z people are gonna wanna go out there Saturday night. If you could create that vibe and explain that to them, that all this is gonna happen, not just 60 units, then you have a shot of pulling this off.
So, I mean, your vision, what you explained is exactly. So it's the same concept. The other thing on the slope of the traffic now was on that, there is a crosswalk. So technically, there's a crosswalk, it's a state highway, you're supposed to slow down, somebody walks to a crosswalk, but I've tested it to get killed pretty easily.
Oh, it's not you.
So, but what you could put there is a flashing light where somebody pushes a button, it's yellow when there's nobody there, but somebody pushes a button. Turns red.
It's also a bus stop.
What's that, what's
right
that?
there.
I don't know.
I mean, it is. Not too many people stop. Actually, put a crosswalk. Not too many people take the bus. They're gonna say traffic red. Somebody go across this.
You gotta make sure they stop.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta sort of hustle right across to make it. I tried.
No, I've done it as well.
Well, the cops hang out there too, so it's like one of their hangout spots.
I encourage that. I thank you for that. So,
Yeah, they're always.
It's not making any impact on anything.
No, I mean, at night, they're there at night.
We haven't
They're
had
there
anybody throw a rock. We had some bad ones. But we haven't had any since the cops started making them.
between, I'd probably say 9 and midnight. There's usually cops sitting there on some nights. Sometimes on that.
So back to what you said about the retail. So I have been trying to figure out what to do with that property for 2 years now. And the main reason why I bought that property is because we own the property across the street. And I want to create exactly what we're talking about. Because vibrancy and creates value for everything. So if you have ideas how to retail, I'm totally open to it. But I can tell you that I've gone through so many different businesses that have come through there. And it's really hard to get them excited about that the way it is right now. If we had more beds there, we could do a lot more with the retail. So what does that mean? I mean, you could do things like, look, could add a second floor onto one of these existing retailers. Doctor's offices, something like that. Repurposing the brick building as retail. So we had these guys at the Meredith Mall. That's the active mall there. So they do these Pokemon competitions. I don't know if you've heard of that. What it is, I never heard about it. My son is now 34. He's 8 in Pokemon, but apparently grown men, play Pokemon cards. I never seen it before. But so these guys were looking for space, came in there, bending over backwards. We were going to rehab the left side of the building. We weren't going to charge them a lot for rent. $5,000 a month for $1,000 into it. And the reason why I did it is because they were going to bring supposedly every weekend 100 people for these competitions. And, we were talking bills about, we'll provide pizza and seats, can provide breakfast. And, we had a barbecue place that was originally looking at being in there too. And we thought, wow, this is going to be great. But these people, they don't have the money. It's the problem. When you get right down to it, it's a really bad credit risk. So that's why that hasn't worked out. So what we have to do is up the game by building something there, creating vibrancy, and then the retail and confident follow.
It's absolutely right. That side of town needs something. It does. If there was, a bar taco there, you know what I mean? Those kind of things.
Yeah, you talk about it. Most people go for food.
Yeah.
Yes.
For restaurant. But you talk about it, okay, talk about Blue Black Square.
Yeah.
Say, okay, so what retail they have? What restaurants do they? You want a whole bunch of restaurants, they don't know what retail are there.
Right.
And that's what brings people in, their stomach. Like,
I would really love to see Doro over there because they combine a lot of different things. It's a place to sit down. It's a place to get your bread, to get your sandwich, get your lunch. And they opening in locations where they opening on the main roads. This is a main road. This is, like you mentioned, a lot of traffic. If we presented that this is going to be renovated and revamped and we may get a good chance for Doro, maybe.
Somebody to call there.
I know.
I've been trying. Doro
Or anything.
Doro likes to find something, buy it, renovate it to meet their needs. Unless they absolutely have to, they have not been a big fan of it. You look what they did at Casa Dora, then a couple other places. Again, would they come in? Potentially, yes, but I know that they are expanding actually into other communities. I think that's basically what's happening, because they found existing, they're modified if they're. But yes, no, Doro is something I desperately would like to have in town. I just haven't found.
How big are they?
Very
I
simple,
have
different
I have
concept.
a friend who knows the owner. I could talk to him and see if they could. I mean, you talk to them so many times. But maybe we can try again, I don't know.
We would love to talk to them. If you know the owner and you wanna reach out and give him or her my name, or maybe give me their contact info after you mention it.
Okay,
You know, we would work with them, you know, I don't know how much space they need.
Yeah.
And if they build from scratch, so the idea, they don't go
I
from
don't
scratch.
know.
So,
Tigran knows him very well as well. I'll reach out to Tigran. I'm gonna be doing a ribbon cutting for him pretty soon.
thanks. I think that would be really cool if we can get their interest.
All of us, right? It's a big group of guys. And they just built one by Red International. It's an odd location, but they did.
Alrighty, 7:15, if we have any particular questions, we'll kind of keep in touch. I think the idea is there of retail and.
so we're open to all ideas. We're, you know, like I said, the goal for our goal is to be good citizens, build something that the town wants. Go be vibrant. So. And I'm available to come anytime. If anybody has any ideas or input, we're very open. So,
Richard, a question, Richard, if that will show interest, if Dodo will show interest, would you be able to prepare something in terms of the building so they don't have to, so that we move into kind of already a space that they don't have to start from scratch?
so, you know, we work with our tenants to do landlord improvements based on what they need. So it's based on a budget for what they need, you know, it goes to what the rent is and how we figure all that out. But yeah, we're very flexible on that.
Okay,
So, and we'd love to talk to them. So,
Just send it to you right now, Bob. It's got his son's email.
yeah, and call me anytime, 24/7.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The coffee dripped up here. I wanted to swim. Invite you guys to go switch the next.
Thank you very much.
Your boss. Like 45 minutes.
Alrighty, we're gonna breeze, okay.
All right, so planning's abatements, there are none, take us through 5.
Sure, 5, so text amendment, Art Shaler's text amendment got approved to do the lot over, just south of the Donuts, the old Bonnie Therian site. The text amendment was approved last Thursday.
Where's that?
Sure, so where the garage building was, they took down.
He's gonna use it as a lot.
Yeah, it's gonna be basically new car lot, the idea would be again, have some nice plantings, Subaru logo, etc.
How
Yeah.
hard of a sell was it? PNC?
It was
there?
I was very surprised, they
Yeah,
actually.
but there's no sales or building or anything there.
Right now, no, I mean, I think he may do a building there long term, but immediately, he's gotta work.
Fence it in?
I don't know what the
Well,
plan
he
is yet.
said that fence doesn't work, they would camp
Right,
without the.
yeah, right.
But
I'm surprised it
he
just,
talked about parking on that. No.
Yeah.
You gotta clean it up.
did they tell me you had to pave?
Well, it was nothing but a text, he's gotta come in with the site.
You gotta-
Oh, okay, I got
Yeah,
it.
it's a special
We gotta
permit
make
site
sure that
plan.
he does something.
Yep.
That
Nice.
sure aesthetically pleasing, so when you drive by, it doesn't look like.
Yeah, he was talking about
It'll
parking
look
on
like
Millings
across the
spot
street.
this time.
Really?
Yeah, we should go park car Billings. Yeah, that's what I said.
One of the
And
commissioners,
you pushed them and said, listen, you gotta pave this, you know?
Oh, it's the base underneath, they only put the millings on top of that old. Grass that was there. So they would have to mow it.
All right,
it's interesting, one of the commissioners actually said, well, maybe Task will do the same thing, and I went,
Well, they're looking for anything to put on the dirt, but I don't know what.
they did finally get an approval for the, I think it's 8-building complex, at the corner of Four Rod and Norton. For contractors, I gotta explain.
Oh, they did?
Yes, they did, they finally did, they pushed them quite a bit on, nicer buildings, plantings, and I think what's gonna happen is. I think the exit off of onto Norton Road may be, like emergency fire only, but I'm not sure. They did some big pushbacks they
Oh, I
got,
see.
they ended up having.
Is that on here?
It is not, no, I forgot to mention it, it was last night.
Alright, so it's gonna be the rent
Yeah, rental and then condo, what it's gonna be.
Condos?
Well, that's what's down there.
Yeah, they're gonna do lease option and sell outright,
Can I just,
Business condos.
industrial.
You know what, it's just like down where my shop is, down behind there, they're
Yeah.
individual
Oh,
buildings. Because that way they can get more on the property.
can
I
I,
have enough to split it up in individual lots. It's fine.
we didn't have a chance to look at this. This is what Ferndale, this is what they're proposing for the building at Ferndale.
Yeah, I think that's the.
But the bottom
that's the
says
break
mixed
of it.
use redevelopment, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, this is what Shimano handed out to us. It says
Right.
Ferndale Development. This is like,
Yeah, well, we're far away from.
yeah,
That,
this,
yeah.
but you would think they would have tried to design something that looked sort of New Englandy, you know?
Something that would fit the area.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes, like, so, yeah, so,
Yeah, it's probably one they did.
yes.
It's by what they-
Eaststar.
So, gentlemen, got approved for 20,000 square feet, brand new building on the last lot on Clark Drive. So it's sitting there for a while. Doesn't have a tenant for it yet, but I've.
Where's that?
It's literally, if you go down Clark Drive on the left-hand side, there's a parcel that's just sitting there right behind, Liberty Industries. There's a parcel right there before you get to the multi-building.
Your place?
No, you go Commerce and then Clark.
Commerce Street, then Clark Street.
There you go down Commerce, take a left on the Clark.
Oh, all the way down the end?
No,
No, that.
it's about halfway down.
Yeah,
About halfway down.
Liberty Industry was gonna do something there.
Yeah, Liberty was going to at one point.
So you building a building?
Yeah, it got approved for 20,000 square foot
Actually,
building.
I think there's buildings down, yeah, then it's just so all of
They
those.
did, yeah, Reuben sold all, yeah. Okay, so, FHI Studio,
What's this doggy take here?
I left that up there, that's on there by accident.
Okay.
I saved that on.
Pass.
Yep.
Did that pass?
No, it hasn't moved at all, it's going to ZBA, end of this month.
That's for Circuits Building.
Yeah, it's for Circuits Building, and I sent the questions that,
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was Cardinals.
Oh, yeah, I know you're right. Circuits is then.
Yeah, no, it's still circuit.
That's
Cardinal building.
Cardinal.
That's,
yeah, I gave her the 7 or 8 questions you guys had last meeting, I did not hear back, which is why.
Card.
Yep. So, FHI Studio. P and Z did make a decision, they added a handful of they added the uses for SPDD, which is the Golden Triangle. So the uses we had there, from the outdoor recreation to the continuing care, et cetera. During the deliberations, they took out the word mixed use, so mixed use is not allowed there. So, if somebody wants to do something mixed use, they have to come in with a plan set.
Okay.
Already. Additional items, I'm not gonna stress about those right this moment, because we got other stuff to worry about. And really what those are, just to let you guys know, is one was the PI and PI2, the language doesn't match up. Just
Right.
I think the language matches up. 2 would be the signage, and I was working on that as you guys came in. Taking pictures of different automotive and other places as we talked about. I just don't have that together to show you guys. Last piece, which is food, alcohol, or non-alcohol in places that have sports, virtual golf, basketball, but again, longer term stuff. So ribbon cutting, etc. Bill's Pizza, 45 years. Roma Joe's Pitch Stop, Durham Turnpike. Aromatic, which actually is Calvo's nephew,
Right.
which is kind of cool.
Is that on Kokomo's property?
No, it's McConscious property. Take the right just before you get to the big brick building. Yeah, you wouldn't even notice it if you went by it, because it's just.
It's the one set back?
Yeah. So Ted Cha and Entrepreneur Connect, go to Mill, Dance Legacy 50 years, Royale.
What's interpreted?
Basically, they work with individuals with intellectual disabilities. So similar to some of the other folks around, except I believe.
Ted does that, or he's got?
No, it's a tenant downstairs.
Oh, so he rented some of his
He rented
space.
the bottom. Yep.
Who's the contact?
He went up, did
Do
he
you have a
go up?
contact name for that?
I don't Entrepreneur Connect. Yes,
Did Chuck go upstairs?
yes, he is.
Send that to me, please.
Yep, you got it.
This entrepreneur connect to the whole first floor?
Entrepreneur.
Yeah, Entrepreneur Connect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't spell it very well. Dance Legacy 50 years is great. I found out that Caroline's mom started it. Caroline ran it. It's currently being run by one of Caroline's first students, and her daughter is gonna take it over soon, kind of one of those cool Berlin type.
Is that the one that won like the national championship?
That one in the same?
Yeah.
Yep. Royal Alterations, which is a tenant next to Ron's Auto, Kennington Insurance, we're gonna do that soon. Barry Golf, 40 years soon as well. 4:30 this Wednesday, 11th, we're just gonna have a session to talk about kind of the area from McClatchy Park down to Veterans Park 2, get people's input on what they think makes the most sense, we're gonna highlight history, culture, art. Really just to get an open discussion with people and we'll see who shows up. Ongoing items, grocery store, what's everything's happening there, Dave?
No,
Actually, sorry, I forgot one thing. So, we are gonna be doing something for, food, music and the arts from June 23rd to August 23rd, which if you spend $22, you get $5 off at our restaurants. Basically, you get the 3 summer concerts, other stuff, and just give people a couple bucks off eating in town. Yes.
okay, so grocery store, you guys all know that we met with the whole group of manager, district, delivery lady, and so I think we just leave it here, keep an eye on things, are things improving, are they going downhill?
That Stop and Shop,
Yeah, we had a meeting with.
how'd that go?
Well, I don't know, it was me, the mayor.
When you get response on it.
Yeah, it was me, the mayor, the town manager sat down with the district, the current manager, Paul Lang, the corporate lady, we said, okay. We're getting a lot of complaints about your store. A lot of people are leaving Berlin to go grocery shopping. I went in there that morning and I took over 40 pictures empty at 7 a.m. when they opened. No prices, empty produce shelves, empty this, empty that. Shelves are a disaster. My philosophy is when the clock hits 7 and you're opening the door, you should be ready to do business. And they're not. So they took they took a bunch of notes and they left. They said they're gonna work on this. We'll have to see if there's.
That's right, if you had a supermarket that came into town, they could knock it out of the ballpark, right? It's the only thing, game got.
Getting time, so it's just.
Yeah, but we don't have the property for another,
I know, it's not.
And Chris and I talked about the movie house. For a grocery store.
you can build it on a pad site grocery store and that property's so big.
Yeah, I know. But Chris, they're looking for a new grocery store, not easy.
That's why I couldn't understand how Shaler could come up with something. Tried, yeah.
So that takes care of Stop and Shop. So, keep an eye on it. If we need to call them in, if 3-4 months go by and we don't see anything, it's still.
I was there this Sunday and I didn't see any improvement in terms of, picking up with grocery in terms of stacking. So far, I haven't seen any improvement.
Good. Well, we can request another meeting. Let's let a couple months go by. And, we'll request another meeting. Say, look at you guys, we're still, I'll go back in and take all the pics when they open up again, see if I see the same stuff. I don't know. Okay, Ferndale Plaza, we kicked that around, right? We're okay with just. Sure, Sherwood Falls, we figured that out. Well, we didn't figure much. We found the state.
We kicked it
of the
around
pro-
again.
And we found the.
We had somebody in it.
Yeah, we found the state of the project.
They just got somebody on their side that's motivated that stays after. That's what I.
Okay, the next one is Pat's sites at Ocean State Job Lot.
I have not heard back from the property guys, so I gotta bring it back up to him.
And then we have the movie theater there.
Home theater, really nothing happening at all. Then again, that's a situation where you have the operator is different than the property owner and
Oh,
So it's the movie theater. Apparently they're renting all their stuff to the bus company. They're renting out space to them and to Tasco because they're all using that property back.
Oh, yeah. Can they do that? Can they sublet?
Maybe it's free. They'll let them do free.
Oh,
I was
maybe.
gonna say, I'm not in enforcement, so I don't know. We did have the conversation about the gateways.
Yeah, you handed out a whole sheet about all the
Yeah, we
pictures.
had a whole sheet on different ones here,
Okay,
and,
right there.
give me a second, I
It's right
can,
here. And I'll tell you what I did, Chris, because you know what I mentioned last time, I said,
Is that in here?
no, it was in the last meeting, Bob, and Chris had taken pictures of all these This was the last meeting, we get off.
I was gonna say, Bob, I've got them up on the screen too, Bob, so you can look at it here, so. We took a look at all the different things we had here, and then, I think we had talked about before. The best options. I think we were talking about,
We get up at 9.
not nine in East Berlin. And then,
9 at the ridge, right?
yeah, yeah,
So let me tell you, what we also talked about last time, and that I had mentioned, is when you get off of Park Road in West Hartford. You hit the end of the Park Road ramp, there's a big sign that says West Hartford, it's lit up.
Yeah.
Right, and I said to you guys, I said, why don't we do something like that? In Berlin that mimics our gateway signs, you know, the white and black ornate thing. So, my son threw this together really quick. It was like a 5-minute job today, because I said, Matthew, I need this for tonight. And he just threw something like that very quickly at the end of the Christian Lane ramp.
Right.
That would maybe look very similar to, you know, the font and the colors to the gateway signs. You know, that's set in front of the guardrails. I said, Matthew, just give
Yeah,
me something.
just
You know,
something I do.
so my son put that together. So if you wanted to sort of mimic a little bit maybe of what West Hartford does at the end of Park Road. You know,
Well, I think coming off Route 9 in East Berlin, or is it East Berlin? I'm not sure yet, but.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
something that
could
was
be
like,
there.
in Farmington, I kind of liked.
Yeah, you wanna know what else? By Brierley Johnson's, when you're
Yep.
coming
Yeah.
right there enter town.
So this is where this.
Well, there is a little one.
This is in Farmington, I just happened to see it, it's very cool, because
Village Green, yeah.
yeah, it's.
I like the white house.
Well, you know what it is? It's sort of like when we did those all the street signs downtown.
Yep.
And then we did the gateway signs. What we're trying to do is we're trying to brand Berlin, you know? And so, you know, some of the, and
It took us, how many years? 9 years to get signs up last time? 11.
Wow.
yeah, let me tell you, I started the street signs downtown when Selena was mayor.
That's when I got on the board.
That's how long ago. And so, you know, the town actually has taken steps now. If you go to the senior center, Percival Avenue, that little Savona Road there, they have a sign there that mimics all our gateway signs. The town hall is sort of using that design now. So I see the town is sort of following,
Picked up on that.
picked up on the street signs and then the gateway. So if you did something like this, you know,
David, do you have a picture that you could share somehow?
It's gotta be.
Yeah, give me 1 second, let me get off of here, let me,
You know.
Thank you.
all right. So this is what Dave is thinking for around the Christian Lane exit.
Right.
Can you, I don't know if you can see that or not, but,
Doug, can you get closer or not? I'm taking.
sorry.
Same with coming down,
So yeah, I mean, it's just a mock-up that his son did of what it looks like at the end of Christian Lane.
mountain,
Uh-huh.
you know, nothing.
But just kind of staying with that same Berlin brand, like the welcome signs we have. I mean, it's a good thought to start with. I gotta continue and.
I can have Matthew do a much better version, like take out the guardrail and sort of set it back nice and maybe he's gonna do it, but I said, Matthew, hurry up, I gotta have this for tonight.
No, that's perfect.
So, but I think that maybe is better than all these little signs at every damn exit.
Well, you can have smaller ones in certain areas,
Yeah,
but
you can.
your main ones you want is you're entering the town, not leaving the town.
Right,
Yeah, I'll scan this and make sure everybody in the commission has, that's not a problem.
all right, so,
Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Continue this.
did you see it, Maggie? Were you able to see it?
Not really. If you could take a picture and just text it would be great. Thank you.
There you go, go ahead, Chris, send it to them.
Hey, I have a question on that Davis Crest.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know, the sign Welcome to Berlin is great, but then Berlin would have to maintain them at the cost from the taxpayers. You know, my thought originally is to do kind of like they do in North Haven, where they have a sign that says Welcome to North Haven, but underneath it, as part of the sign, it says this is sponsored by. And then it's a
Like
local
that.
business, and the local business then pays for all the maintenance and the flowers and stuff around those beds to save the town the cost.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, let me, yeah, I need to reconnect with the folks from the state, so I think that's definitely a good thing to continue on, and I'm sending you both a picture of it right now, so you at least have.
Thank you.
You also by.
Yeah.
They're a mess.
Yeah. Okay,
Ready.
town owned,
Yep, yeah, it's not a problem, not worry about that right now. Right now, it looks like, with Pistol Creek, the most likely option might be to do something with CCRC, like an art program, to use the building. Very early conversation wise with them, but they're looking to do some stuff, they've done some stuff with, the Written Library, I think some Berlin Library, but it'd be nice to do kind of a community art type thing down at Pistol Creek, we get some use of the buildings.
yeah, maybe some use of the building, but I don't think that's what the town needs, Chris. Like if it's short term, they need a place to do something, fine. But we really need, it really was a beautiful clubhouse. And I told everyone here, I said, look, if you own Pistol Creek, the building, what would you do with it? Would you just look at it and let it just keep falling apart? No. You said, okay, well, how can I create revenue here? And the town needs a banquet facility. They do. And like we talked about in the past, Chris, if you invite the Restaurant and Catering Association New Haven or Hartford on a Saturday to come tour this place, and then put together an RFP and say, hey, what do you guys think you can do with this? That building is worth 10 grand a month, easy, easy.
I like the idea, but if you get a chance for the last town council meeting, they were looking to put frisbee golf on the old
I know all about it.
golf course. And the many neighbors came out. And it was not a very positive meeting for frisbee golf. And yes, I agree with you, Dave. Conceptually, it makes a lot of sense. But I also, that was a response on frisbee golf. I'm not sure what a banquet facility would do.
Yeah, well, that was a
You don't let you try.
that was an organized response.
I'm not surprised, yeah. Yeah, but anyway, no, I agree with you, and that it's something that we need to.
Well, is there a reason we can't invite the New Haven and the Hartford Restaurant and Catering Association members to come tour this place and give us an RFP? Why can't we? And then you kick it to town council and say, hey, Mr. 123 in North Haven has a banquet facility and he would love to do one here. He'll renovate the whole building. You give him rent free for 2 years and then he'll be paying 15 grand a month in rent going forward. Because people need a place to go have. There's no place to have there's no nice banquet facility in town. People are clamoring for something like that. For a wedding, an event, anything.
There's a couple of key here, a couple of two person to Mikasumi and the Polish place.
Yeah, I mean, my big thing, I wouldn't want to go headlong into something without having some kind of support from the council.
Okay, well, what do we do with Pistol Creek building? We just let it go to CCRC for art program? That's ridiculous. The building,
With you.
if you owned it, Bob, you owned it, me, what would I do with that? And we have a fiduciary responsibility to their town to do something with it. It's been how long has it been sitting there vacant, doing nothing? 20, 15 years?
I don't know. Yeah, it's probably 15.
About 15 years. And it just keeps crashing and burning. No one's maintaining it. So what do we do with it?
Yeah, it's gonna wind up like the Knights of Columbus building.
Well, that's what I mean. What could we do with it?
Oh, there's a zillion things you can do with it. It's just a matter of, is the town willing to put some time in and either renovate it and rent it out or use it for public events or whatever you're gonna do. But the town, you throw an idea out there and half the town's gonna be like, no, we don't wanna spend money on it. The other half's like, well, if we spend money, we can make money and You know how this,
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have,
Why don't we-
like the meeting house just sits there.
Why don't we, Dave,
well,
we
they
have,
do their own money.
we have the guy who expressed an interest. Why don't you and I sit down with him? See if
Okay.
he's real.
Yep.
If he is, that gives us a reason to go talk to Mark and council
Okay.
about possibilities.
The meeting house generates their own grant monies. They pull in a lot of grant money. They do,
But they're not doing anything.
well, they bought the property behind it. They got.
They did
Renovated
renovate,
it.
they renovated that.
And they renovated the inside. The first floor I hear is done. I don't know.
It's still all framing.
First floor too? Aren't they gonna move the historical society over
They
here?
were gonna.
I don't know. Okay, let's move on.
What do we got? This,
Yep, we're talking about a business event in September at the Hawthorne, and so I think maybe Bob, you and I go down there at some point and sit down with them and talk about what we'd like to do and
Okay.
what's the best way to go.
I'll tell you that place on a weekend, on the bar side.
yes, is it?
They have bands, I think.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Yeah, I went in there just to early for everything, just to grab something to eat at the bar and. Yeah, so you can't because, you have to have reservation. There's no one in here. The place is empty. Yeah, but in 2 hours, it'll be jammed. Like, well, I'm not gonna take 2 hours to eat. I'll be out of here, but by the time I left. Nobody's filling up.
Yeah.
All right. Item 9, commissioner comments. Anything else? Okay, folks, adjournment action.
The motion to adjourn.
Second. Although any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Alright.
Opposed, abstained, motion passes.
I know, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Do you want my son to ramp this up and do better?
I will.
Thank you.
I'll let him do it.
Yeah, I think, yes, good night, good night.
Good night. Thanks, Maggie. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night, guys.
I'll have my son